Change is constant, especially in today's workplace. A key team member leaves, budgets shift, the systems you've relied on for years suddenly replaced. Change can feel disorienting, frustrating, sometimes even threatening. As a manager, how should you respond to change? And how can you help your team to adapt and thrive as change happens all around them? In this video, we'll explore powerful lessons from a book called Who Moved My Cheese? By Dr. Spencer Johnson. A simple story packed with insights on how people react to change and how leaders can guide their teams to adapt with confidence and resilience. The story centers on 4 characters who live in a maze, all searching for cheese. The cheese is a metaphor for what we want in life. Things like promotions, security, recognition, or happiness. The maze is the changing environment we navigate to find it, like our workplace, relationships, or routines. There are 2 mice, Sniff, who senses change coming, and Scurry, who acts fast when change hits. They keep things simple. They don't overthink. They sniff out change early and scurry into action. And there are 2 people, Hem and Haw. Hem denies and resists change because he fears losing what he has. Haw is initially afraid but eventually learns to adapt over time. At first, all 4 characters find a large stash of cheese at Cheese Station C. Life is good, cheese is plentiful. Sniff and Scurry keep checking the cheese every day, staying alert to any changes. But Hem and Haw grow complacent. They believe the cheese will always be there. They come later each day, assuming stability and predictability. This is exactly what happens in big organizations. Teams get comfortable with how things are done and expect it to always be the same. Then, one day, without any warning, the cheese is gone. If you're Sniff and Scurry, you're not surprised. They had noticed the supply was dwindling and quickly set off into the maze to find new cheese. No complaints, no drama, they react to the change and make a plan. Hem and Haw, however, are shocked. Hem rants and raves, blaming others and insisting it's unfair. Haw is confused, afraid and hesitant. They keep returning to the empty station, hoping the cheese will magically reappear. This moment is crucial and probably familiar. It captures the emotional reality of many people when faced with sudden change. Denial, anger, confusion and fear can keep us stuck, paralyzed and unable to see a way out. Every team has its hems and haws, and in times of change we can often become one ourselves. In the story, Haw begins to reflect. He realizes that waiting won't bring the cheese back. He envisions himself finding new cheese, which gives him courage. Though uncertain and scared, he puts on his shoes and ventures into the maze to search for new cheese. So what does this teach us about being a manager and how to help our teams manage through change? Well, some team members are like Sniff and Scurry, quick to notice and respond when change happens. Others are like Hem, resisting or stuck in denial. Then there are the Haws, fearful but open to adapting. The key is to identify who is who on your team and help them through the process. Here's 3 simple tips for helping your team deal with change. 1. Anticipate change and smell the cheese often. Change is inevitable, and you need to help your team to expect it. Make early detection part of your management style. Regularly scan your environment and communicate transparently and as often as possible. This way you can keep your team informed about potential changes or risks. The more you discuss the changes that are happening, the less your team will be shocked by them when they happen. 2. Adapt quickly. The cheese isn't coming back. As a manager, create a culture where it's okay to be wrong, to acknowledge your mistakes, and to move on. Work on building a culture of psychological safety, role model flexibility and agility, iterate often. Encourage experimentation and quick decision-making, even if it feels uncomfortable. 3. Manage fear. What would you do if you weren't afraid? Fear is why your team resists change. Fear of failure, of looking dumb, of losing comfort. When you're going through a transition, ask your team what would you do if you weren't afraid. Understand that fear of the unknown is normal and communicate this often to your team. Be patient and supportive, especially with those struggling to let go. The biggest barrier to change is always ourselves. Fear, limiting beliefs, and comfort zones hold us back more than any external factor. Remember, change isn't just about finding new cheese. It's about learning and adapting. And with these lessons, you can lead your team to not only survive change, but to thrive because of it.